Okay guys, this is going to be part 3 of the Chinese Amazon diesel generator project that we're building. So in the first video we unboxed it, the second video I got it mounted on this nice base finally and did an oil change in the engine. This video we're going to go ahead and mount what we're going to use to make power, which is a 6-phase old scooter hub motor. So it's got 2 3-phase windings inside of it. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work yet. This is all just kind of winging it. So I got the belt here, got everything I need. I think I have 2 rectifiers here, so we're going to put 3 phases of each winding and we should get power out on both of these. I also have a current shunt and a voltage meter right here, so the output of that, I'm not sure how I'm going to do these yet. We're probably going to only do one at a time, but we're going to take the output of that, put it through this so we can see the current, the amperage, and all that as it's running, and yeah, kind of go from there. As far as gearing goes, it's all guesswork. I have no idea how much voltage this is going to put out, so it would be nice if it put out more than 48 because we can connect it to the big bank, but if it doesn't, I need to make it down to be able to charge a 12-volt bank. So a lot of guesswork going on there, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So right now we're going to focus on mounting this, getting the belt and everything set up, getting the engine to be able to actually spin this, and then we're going to wire it up to this and see the output. So I'm going to go ahead and start making the brackets to do that. It's going to have to be some sort of pivoting mechanism, that way I can put tension on the belt and adjust it as it kind of wears in and all that good stuff. So let's get to work. That worked. Real sloppy like. So I actually ended up just welding these little posts to the nuts themselves, which some people might think is a stupid idea, but it's okay, because if this doesn't even work, then I don't want to waste a bunch of time on it. Just want to kind of prototype it as quick as possible and get it slapped together. If it does work, I'll come up with a better engineering setup, you know, kind of later down the road. This is just to prove it works. So next I got to put some sort of hinge system on the bottom. So I think I'm going to take this little plate right here, make a hole in it, maybe make a hole in the tube, and then put a bolt, and that'll be our hinge, and then I'll be able to like rock the motor back to put tension on the belt. So it'll make more sense when I get it on there. All right guys, so here's the hinges I was telling you guys about that the motor is going to attach to in order to let it pivot. So I just got my 2 pieces of plate, drilled some holes, chamfered them a little bit, and then I'm just going to use a bolt, a nut, a flat washer, and a lock washer, and that's it. So this is going to be attached to that, this will be attached to that, and that's it. And I'll be able to tilt the motor, and then I got to make some sort of mechanism to hold it in that position. So you'll see it all once I get it on there. I do have to add another piece of rod here, a piece of tubing or whatever, and that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this all mocked up and mounted and kind of see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, here's how we're kind of looking now. So far so good. I am gonna end up trimming this once this is welded to the base. However, my belt is a little too short, or I'm gonna have to get a smaller pulley, because when I had this kind of all lined up ready to kind of start putting some tension on the belt, it actually hit the gas tank. So I'm going to go get a smaller pulley, because I do think this is going to be too fast for this motor anyways, but I'm also going to get a longer belt. That way I have the best of both worlds and I can kind of adjust according to whatever. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get all those things, and then we're going to get the belt put on. I'm going to put the motor at kind of an angle like that. That way the weight of the motor is helping put tension on it, and then I still going to have to build a tensioning system and then kind of eyeball the alignment of the belt, make sure it's riding smooth, and then get this tacked to the base, trim the edges, and that's it. That should be good for the mechanical part. I do want to at some point also strip this down and paint it once I know it works. But yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna go get those things and kind of try this again. Good morning guys, hope y'all are having a great day. I'm out here with the generator project yet again. This is like the millionth video on this. I'm sure y'all are getting impatient and want to see this thing make some power. So yesterday the belt was too short and it was hitting the gas tank. So I went over to Tractor Supply and I got a bigger belt, and I also got a smaller pulley just in case that big pulley drives it too fast and the voltage is too high, because on that generator we're going to be using, since it's permanent magnet, we're going to be able to adjust the voltage with the RPM. So still shooting in the dark, but we got some different setups now. So I have the old belt here. Also, I want to take a moment to personally thank all the new subscribers. Personally thank you guys who actually watch the videos and leave me comments. It's very encouraging. I'm not sure where the Mike Builds channel is actually going to go. It's kind of just random right now. We do have a lot of cool things in the garage we can mess with. I have a lot of tools we can build stuff. So, you know, I'm not sure where the channel's direction is going to go right away. I plan on just keep messing with cool projects if you guys want to keep watching them. And I plan to just record everything I do more or less and post it. And if it gets views, great. If not, that's okay too. But like I said, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys. It really does mean a lot. I never thought my channel would grow as much as it has, and it's just freaking awesome. So thank you guys so much for that. Okay, so I think I am going to start with the smaller pulley we bought, just because I don't know what voltages is going to put out, like I said before. So I kind of just want to start with the smaller and be safe in case it's like a lot. I don't really know. So we're probably going to start with this and spin it up to RPM and just kind of see what we get, and then I'll experiment with the 2 pulleys and kind of see what we can make work. So yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this kind of thrown on. So we did get the bracket built yesterday. All that footage was recorded yesterday. So now I just got to put this on here, get the belt alignment, all that, and then I'm gonna tack this. Not super heavy duty weld it just yet in case we have to change anything. And yeah, just kind of go from there and hopefully get this thing making some power. And guys, also, there are 2 more Chinese diesel engines I'd like to try on Amazon. So if you guys would like to see me maybe mess with a different engine, I'd like to try the Yanmar clone because I think it has a pressurized oiling system. So if this engine doesn't end up working out, or you guys just really want to see that, leave a comment below and I might scoop one. All right, let's see here. Be a little tricky. You know what I forgot to buy is a keyway, so we're gonna have to figure that out too. Because I'm not sure how much torque this is gonna make on the motor part. Oh yeah, look at that, perfect. But you got the good angle here. Kind of what we're thinking right there, right, boys and girls? Yeah, something like that. That'd be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna get the welder out and go ahead and tack this on and get it all set up. Guys, I've had this welder for probably 3 years now, and I just now noticed there's a switch here to feed your wire through, because I'm loading some fresh wire into this thing to weld on our machine here, and I don't know, I just thought that was cool. So if you're curious, this is the welder we're using, the titanium 125 flux, and this thing is a beast. So if you're just wanting to do small fabrication projects or things around your farm or house, don't be discouraged by flux core. Some people think it sucks, but I promise you this thing welds great. So anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny. So getting some fresh wire loaded up, and then we're gonna get that tacked on. All right, just checking belt tracking, and that looks like it'll work. So gonna go ahead and tack that on there, but I don't have any of my welding crap on, of course. So that's okay, we'll figure this out. I think it's on there. Obviously not permanent, just a couple tacks, but enough to test, I think. So now we need to start I need to tighten the hinges up, start the engine, and just kind of get this thing running and see what the voltage is. So I'm gonna go ahead and first I need to figure out what phase is what. Okay, so now we got to figure out which set of wires are which phase. So basically the way you do that is the 3 phases are going to be connected on one end. So when you check continuity, basically 3 wires should have continuity, and the other 3 should have continuity separate from each other. So once we figure that out, then we can put our rectifier on. I'm going to do one at a time because I'm still not sure how I can parallel these. So we're just going to get our meter. I have it on ohms. So there's nothing between red and green, nothing between red and blue. Okay, so red and black have 0.2 ohms, so we know that's one coil. So red and black will go together. Do you guys see this? Probably not very good. So red and black, black and green, nothing, yellow, nothing, blue, nothing, white. Okay, so white, black, and red are one winding. And like I said, the way you can tell is you can check continuity between them and you'll get continuity. 0.2 ohms, 0.2 ohms, and 0.2 ohms. So these are the 3 wires we need. I'm gonna go ahead and clip these so they don't accidentally arc. They need to be stripped anyways, so it's not a big deal. And then these three, I'm actually going to strip back a little more and connect them to the rectifier. Then all we got to do is start it and see what the voltage is. Okay, there we go. We got the rectifier hooked up. Now I'm going to move this extremely heavy assembly over to the grass because it shakes like crazy. And we're going to see if we can even get it started with this big, you know, extra load on it. There's no electrical load, but this thing has its own little inertia, so hopefully the drill can get this thing kicked over. And then once I get it running, we're just going to stick our meter leads right here and we'll get a number. Pretty exciting stuff. Okay guys, so I saw 96 volts, so I think we're spinning this thing way too fast. So I'm going to try to put the smaller puller, I'm going to try and put the smaller pulley on, and then we're going to recheck because that was 96 volts. Now granted that's no load, but that's still pretty high. I didn't expect to see 96 volts, that's crazy. So we're going to try the smaller pulley, try this again. Also the engine's running at just above an idle, so can't really get it any lower than that. Oops. Also, I still don't have a keyway on here, so I do got to be careful on how much load I put without the grub screws, because right now the grub screws are the only thing holding the pulley on and transmitting torque, so don't know how long that'll hold up, but I'll get a keyway sooner than later once I get the proof of concept down. Then we'll try to make it good. This is kind of just the experimental phase anyways, because if I know for a fact this will work, then I'm going to do a really good job of cleaning it up and actually turning it into a functional deal other than just something I'm messing around with. Obviously, I hope it works. That'd be sick. They have smaller pulleys too, so I guess I might have to go get it even smaller. This is a 3-inch pulley. This is a 5-inch pulley. So, yoink. Okay, there we go. Belt tracks. Yep. 96 volts. That's pretty crazy. Okay, take two. Okay, so that was much better. That was actually 48 volts, which that means I should be able to charge my 48 volt power bank off of this, so that's awesome. So now I need to figure out if I put 48 volts straight to this, is this going to try to backfeed? I don't think it is because there's a diode setup. So now I need to put a set of leads on here, hook up to a 48 volt battery, and just kind of see what happens. So I guess I'll go ahead and make a temporary set of leads. I'll put that current shunt on there as well so we can monitor the current coming out, and then we'll kind of go from there. So far so good. Actually worked better than I thought. Okay, so I got the setup in the backyard on a pallet now. So the reason it's in the backyard is because this is close to my setup to charge stuff. So I went ahead and crimped some copper lugs on the wires coming out of the motor, or the generator, I guess you could call it. These wires aren't very thick. They're probably 8 or 10 gauge, so I'm not sure how many amps these will be able to handle, but supposedly this hub motor, when it was a motor, could do a ton of power. So that's something we're gonna have to keep in mind. Maybe try to keep the amps down, the voltage up, in order to, not burn the wires up. So I'm going to be very conservative about how we run this at first, just for testing anyways. So we're going to go ahead and get this put on the rectifier. I also got the shunt, so I'm going to go ahead and get all this set up as well. And then the output is going to be on this Anderson plug, and then from there we're just going to start trying to hook up some loads and do some experimenting to see what it does. All right, this looks a little sloppy right now, but we're going to finalize it once the proof of concept is done. So I got the current shunt / voltmeter wired up here. I think I did it right. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire this thing up and see if it turns on. This thing should be able to take up to 100 volts DC, as well as the rectifier, so we're well within the tolerance for that. So we're gonna fire it up and make sure this thing's reading voltage. Obviously there's not gonna be any amps yet because we don't have a load on it, and hopefully this thing doesn't bounce around too much on this thing. If it does, I'll try to secure it down with something. Quite. So it seems to make about 46 to 48 volts at a high idle, and then I think I can ramp it all the way up to 60 at full power. I'm kind of scared to rev it up that high just yet, but I'm going to try to find a load and see if we can't start charging something. Okay guys, here's the first test of us actually generating power and charging a battery. So right here I have an electric bike battery that I built. This is a 16S lithium iron phosphate, so the nominal voltage is around 48 volts. I have these Bluetooth app open to monitor the battery voltage, so we're gonna be able to see real time what we're putting in. I went ahead and just kind of connected it to alligator clips so we can plug it right into the XT60 connector. So I think first I'm gonna start it, verify the voltage coming out isn't too high, because I don't want to put a ton of voltage in, because as soon as this hits that, it's gonna pull out of amps and bog the motor down. So first we're gonna start it, verify the voltages, are well within, I want to make sure the going in is lower than the battery, and then we're gonna slowly ramp it up until we start to see current. And that's it. So I'll go get you guys set up on the tripod to get this thing going. All right guys, so here we go, the first actual test of us generating power with our generator setup. So once I get it running and going, I'm going to pull you guys closer and I'll show you all the displays and everything. 3 videos later, we're actually going to make some power, right? That's pretty cool. I would like to hook up my big system, but I have no way to do it yet. I have to make a big set of leads, and I just haven't got enough wire to do that at the moment. So this is good proof of concept, and this probably needs to be charged anyway. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So first we're going to check the voltage of the battery. Actually, I can see it right here. The battery's sitting at 52.6 volts. So we're going to start this up and we're going to see what the display is. And we're going to go just above an idle for engine speed, so not very fast. I don't have a tachometer, otherwise I would show you guys the actual RPM of the engine. Go and connect the battery now, and it shouldn't do anything. Okay, it didn't do anything. Now I'm going to slowly increase power until we start to see current come out of here. Okay, I ended up moving the whole thing on the grass because it was starting to shake off the pallet. So we're going to try that again. So as y'all saw, we got about 300 watts. So I want to try to kind of turn this thing all the way up and see what it actually goes up to. Obviously, I can't put 100 amps into this battery, so we're just going to take it real slow and easy and just kind of see what it does. Also, I probably need to put a circuit breaker or fuse in this somewhere in case something shorts. But we're good for now. So that's it. We're just gonna run this for a bit and kind of see what it does, and hopefully we don't have any issues. Disconnect the load now and let's kind of see if the engine sounds like it's working or not. So now we're making 700 watts. Okay, so I did notice once I actually got the engine loaded up for the first time since I've ever owned it, it actually did start to smoke a bit, but I'm sure that would clear up as the engine warms up. This thing really never gets up to temperature without a proper load. Everything seems to work perfect. The rectifier is getting a little warm. I mean, it's not uncomfortably hot, but I should probably put this on a heat sink. That would be my next worry, is getting that too hot. But as you guys can saw, we pulled, you know, 750 watts out of it, so that's pretty good. This says it's rated for 100 amps. I don't know at what voltage or amp or wattage that would be at, but I do think it'd be a good idea to put this on a heat sink. And then also I still have this one we could connect. So in theory, not that the engine could support it, but we could also hook up even more loads to it and use the full amount of copper windings inside that generator, or hub motor, I guess you could call it. So yeah, so that's pretty good first test. Okay guys, I think that's gonna do it for now. I think in a future video, now that I know this thing works, we're gonna build a nicer stand, paint it, put some wheels on it, you know, work on vibration control a little bit, clean all the wiring up, put some safety stuff on there, and then put a main output that I can connect things to in order to actually charge and run things. I gotta say, I'm actually quite impressed how good this actually worked. I guess I kind of, in my mind, I thought it would work, but there's always a possibility that I'm not spinning this fast enough or slow enough. And I gotta say, I think it's just perfect. We're getting, you know, right around 48 to 50 volts relatively easily. The engine's not having to work hard. I can tell it's not turning a ton of RPM, so that should be good for fuel economy. But it was working the diesel, so that was kind of cool to see that. It did smoke a lot, so I think I really need to run this at a low to actually get the engine hot. I probably never actually got this engine up to temperature, just because diesels run cooler when they're not actually worked hard. They don't get complete combustion, you get out more soot and all that. So I think it'll actually do this thing good. But anyways, this worked a lot better than I would have ever hoped for. Now we just got to make sure it holds up. Like I said, I do want to heat sink the rectifier, add the second rectifier, find out if I can put those in parallel, and then, you know, I would get twice the power, not as far as voltage but as far as amperage, because I would keep them in parallel. So yeah, that's it. That's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what improvements I should make, and going forward is gonna be pretty exciting. And I think once I get the whole thing built and done, I do want to try to connect it to the big 48 volt system and actually charge that. And then we can also try out different fuels. I want to do used oil, I want to do cooking oil and all that stuff. So that's coming down the tube. Trust me guys, I'm definitely still wanting to do that. And then if this engine ever fails, I also want to keep trying maybe some different engines. Like I said before, there's 2 other diesel engines on Amazon I would like to try out. The Yanmar clone, and then there's another smaller one. So I guess that's gonna do, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate all the feedback, comments. Everything is great. I love it. You guys are amazing, and I'll catch you all in the next one.